Greetings. Welcome to Spring Mill Bible Camp. Before shooting this video, I walked around the camp just a little bit because I wanted to find the perfect place to shoot this short 6 to 7 minute video. I wanted to find some images, capture some things that would be special to the hearts of those watching. So I knew I'd do well to find the cafeteria in the background and the basketball court, the OR building. You know, if I could get just a little bit of nature involved as well, and even include the gum pole off in the distance. I want to introduce myself. My name is Rick Leach. I serve as one of the weekly directors for SMBC. I'm also on the board of directors and currently serve as the president of that board. It's a beautiful spring day here at camp, and that's pretty typical. In early May, this is kind of what you can expect the camp to look like. At this particular moment, it's pretty quiet, aside from the birds chirping in the distance, and that's pretty typical as well. Unfortunately, if you're watching this, you're probably aware that we expect it to remain about this quiet for the rest of the summer. We made a hard decision recently. It was incredibly difficult, and we chose to cancel the summer sessions. In light of the current pandemic that's afflicted our country, there's not a single person among all the board members, and I would include the weekly staff members as well as parents and campers alike, who are happy with that choice. It was just deemed to be necessary to protect those who engage in the wonderful experience that takes place at SMBC each summer. You know, on a personal note, I haven't missed being at camp in the summer for over 20 years, and that's a streak that's going to be broken in 2020. My daughter's a senior in high school. She first came to camp when she was a few months old. And so she quickly realized that this was going to be the first time in her entire life where she wasn't going to spend some time in the summer at Spring Mill Bible Camp. I've received messages from lots of parents in the last week or two. They've shared with me that their child was old enough to go to camp as a camper for the very first time this year. And I share in their heartbreak. It hurts to think about the decision that we made. It hurts to think about what we will all miss out on this particular summer. I was talking to my wife recently and told her that, you know, naturally we're going to look back at 2020 as the year that we didn't have camp. And it's going to be a saddened and a disappointing kind of thought. I wanted to know, you know, that's a natural reaction, but I wondered, is there a way that we can turn that around? Is there a way that we can look back at 2020 and think to ourselves, that's a time when God moved among the people and accomplished great things at SMBC? See, most of you know that we've had a great off-season. In fact, we spent time constructing the first of several new cabins on our property. While it's disappointing that that first new cabin, which is near completion, will not be used as we anticipated, I think it's still right that we celebrate what God's accomplished. We also want to move forward with plans to build additional new cabins as we've been planning for quite some time. So we're announcing plans to have our annual Rally Day. That's our most significant fundraising event of each and every calendar year. It was originally scheduled for Saturday, May 16th, and it's still going to happen then. Now it won't be as it's traditionally done. For the very first time, we're going to have a virtual Rally Day. We're going to begin around 11 a.m. that day, and we're going to go through 5 p.m. that evening or a little bit later, and each and every hour across our social media platforms, we're going to share some videos. We're going to post some letting you know what's taking place at camp. We're going to show and introduce to you our new cabin. In fact, we're going to answer a question that's been asked countless times of me over the last few months. What's the name of the new cabin? We'll tell you on Saturday, May 16th. You're also going to hear from some camp supporters who are going to share personal stories about how camp is special to them and how it's affected them over the course of their lives. But this is important, and this is why I want to share this video with you today. I want you to be a part of Rally Day on Saturday, May 16th. See, here's what I want you to do. We're asking all of our camp supporters to post that day across your various social media platforms. We're going to provide a hashtag for you to use and a particular link that you can include in the post directing people to the camp website where they might be able to give and support the camp in a financial way. Now, you might use an old picture from a camp session gone by, one of your favorites. You might take a current selfie and maybe it'll be just you or maybe your family, and maybe you'll be wearing your camp shirts. Hey, if you're brave enough, you could record a video. You could go live or pre-record a video and talk about what camp means to you and how special it is to your life. And if you hung around this long, here's the big news. Because we're going to reach for a target that is far beyond anything that we've ever accomplished before. We want to raise $150,000 by the 4th of July. Now that number may seem huge. And maybe you're right, but I'll also suggest to you again something that I know that you'll agree with. We serve a big God. You know, you may think the timing is not right. You may think, well, Rick, you know, everything that's going on in this world today, how can we expect to raise money? Well, maybe it's the perfect time for God to demonstrate how big He is, to show up through the generous hearts of people who love this place and want to see it serving young people for a long time to come. So think about now how you might be able to help. Think about how you might be able to share this news with others. Certainly you'll be able to do so via social media if you'll post that day. Maybe you can take this information to your local church family, to your local congregations and say, you know, it's time to step up. It's time to help a place that does so much to encourage and build up young people. We want to encourage people to give by July 4th and see how close we can get to that target of $150,000. Now, it might be some who aren't prepared to give by that particular time. At the very least, maybe you'll commit to a pledge in an amount of your choosing to be given by a date that may extend past that July 4th mark. I simply put that suggestion out there so that come the first part of July, the board can take a look at where we're at financially and figure out exactly how much confidence we can have in moving forward with the next phase of our building project. Our next goal is to build a cabin on the boys' side. Now, while the one on the girls' side is completely, almost near completion, I also want to share with you that we didn't go into any debt for that cabin. It's through the love and generosity of camp supporters that cabin has been built. Now, we want to be able to say the same thing about the next cabin. So we want to use the generosity and, again, the hearts of those who support camp in order to allow this to happen. Will you join us in that endeavor? You know, 2020 has been an unusual year. You could suggest that it's been one that's brought tragedy to certain people. It's brought confusion and chaos to others. And it's certainly brought heartbreak, including even in this neck of the woods as we reflect on a camp that's going to remain quiet this summer. But with your help, it can also be the year in which God stirred the hearts of camp supporters and sent us on our way to do big things. To Him be the glory. Don't miss out. There's going to be some more posts on social media. You're going to see some more things on a regular basis with ideas and reminders to come. But I want you to mark your calendars for May 16th. Plan to post that day and participate with us so that we can truly make 2020 a year in which we'll never forget, but in a good way. I want God to continue to bless you and your continued support for Spring Mill Bible Camp. Look forward to seeing you and joining together with you on May 16th.